If you want success but are in a lot of pain, don't worry, you are not alone. Because the price of success, right, is going to be pain. And that was really, shown to me in the past like 2 to 3 days. And it's because I haven't gotten much sleep at all. Like in the past 3 days, I've gotten a total of 9 hours. I slept 2 hours the first night, 2 hours the second night, and then a fat 4 or 5 hours last night. And it's been really rough. And like the reason why I've been up is because I've been working, right? Waking up at 4 a.m. to train clients. I've been staying up late to move out, but still getting my non-negotiables in. Like today, really rough day. That I'll get into later, right? But despite that, like, it's currently 12:51 a.m. by the way, right? But I still got my non-negotiables in. I still posted on Instagram. I still posted on LinkedIn. I still, reached out to people on LinkedIn. But it's I don't cuss often, but I feel like this is like the Eminem. Oh, what does he call that? My brain is not working. But it's like that side of you. But man, it's fucking painful, bro. Right? But the thing is, that's okay. That's okay. And I think a great example of that was today, right? Knowing that I had only 4 hours combined hours of sleep for the past 2 days, today I still woke up early. Like I stayed up late last night to study sales, right, for my upcoming sales call. I stayed up to like 1:30ish, and I woke up at like, what was it? No, sorry. I slept at 2:30, and I woke up at 7 to go to my dentist appointment. And right afterwards, I prepped, and my sales call was at 9:30. So like I was exhausted by that time, right? And when the sales call happened with this guy, I thought it went pretty well. Like he was training with another trainer slash nutritionist, and he had invested in that trainer because he felt bad for the guy. Because he didn't have any clients. So I thought I was going to close, and he wasn't getting results, right? So I thought I was going to close him on the second call that we scheduled for later that day, at 4 p.m. And I went on the call, and it was a mess. I was a mess. My brain was not functioning at all. I was stuttering. I didn't know how to overcome his objections. I wasn't being assertive. I wasn't holding my ground. I wasn't showing my expertise. I didn't call him out on the bullshit that he was talking about, right? It was just not fun, right? And the worst thing was that I didn't close him, right? I didn't close him. Like, I messed up. I could have done so much better. And that was painful. That was, like, imagine staying up super late to study and prep for the call. And then imagine staying up, and then, the next morning waking up early, and then prepping for it again, joining the call, not closing and rescheduling it for the next in the next few hours, using the rest of those next few hours to prep for the call that's upcoming, right? By getting feedback on the other call, and not eating anything besides a Celsius, right? And then showing up to that call just mentally drained, and not closing. But not only that, but right after the call, analyzing the call, rewatching it with, a mentor. Very blessed to have, by the way. I highly recommend you get a mentor. But watching that call with the mentor and listening to the recording of me stuttering, of being basically a pansy and a pushover and a pussy, right? And just messing up, listening to that just second by second by second, and hearing what I did wrong, that is, I'm gonna be blunt, right? This is the alter ego. That's what it's called. It's the alter ego of me. It's fucking painful, man. Right? Like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm listening to all the different ways that I messed up and how I fumbled this call of $3,000. Right? It's painful. Like, imagine putting so much effort in for no tangible result to come out of it. But that's what's required. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Right? That's what's required. Because the thing is that sales call, that one sales call, at least the second one, taught me so much. Even the first one, it taught me so much, but the second one especially taught me so much. And it taught me a lot about myself. You see, the beautiful thing about pain is that pain reveals so much about you. So much. And what I mean by that is that it shows the parts of you that the reason why it's painful is because you didn't get XYZ thing, right? But the reason why you didn't get XYZ thing is because there's some part of you that needs to change, right? And it's going to be painful to freaking change. But that's why it's so important to have pain, because without it, you wouldn't know where to look. But I was talking with my boys, Matt the Beast and Varun. Hey, if you guys are watching this, shout out to you. I don't think you ever will, because this channel is secret. Only to you guy who is watching. You're one of very few, all right, and you're the OGs. So appreciate you guys. But I was having a chat with my boys today, and I came to the realization that the reason why I was such a, for lack of a better term, a pussy on the sales call. Like, I was letting the prospect talk over me. I was letting him control the flow of the call, control the answers, the questionings, right? I was letting him talk about his own bullshit and not saying anything about it. Being nice, but not being kind, which are two completely different things, right? I wasn't being truthful to him. I wasn't putting in my expertise. Like, there was a reason for that. And the reason is because I wasn't confident. I felt like an imposter, right? And there's a whole backstory to this. A whole backstory. But it felt like because this guy that's in his 40s, is successful, it feels he's talking with so much confidence. And basically, it sounds like he was talking down on me. I felt like I was a little kid. And, when I'm in that sort of power dynamic, I like to bend and fold, right? I'm like, yeah, that's totally cool, like, oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, I get you. No, I completely understand. Yeah, but that's true. Like, those words are just affirming the bullshit that he was spouting. As opposed to, no, wait a minute. You're confident, but that doesn't, just because you're confident doesn't mean you're going to get the results, because that's what he said. He was like, yeah, no, I'm confident I'm going to get it. No, even though you're confident, it doesn't mean you're going to lose your weight, is what I should have said. Or, so, did your body fat percentage go down when you looked at your analysis today with the other trainer? Did it go down? Oh, no? Okay, then you didn't get results. Like, you know what BMI is? Body mass index? You know how that's calculated? Like, that's what I should have said. Right? Like, I knew all this stuff. And this trainer increased his calories even though he already gained weight, which made 0 sense. Right? But I wasn't cognitively there, and I didn't assert myself with my expertise because I wasn't confident. And that was painful to listen to. I'm not going to lie. Like, it felt like I was being stepped over, and that was painful. It was painful to listen to, right? But I learned so much. Like, I know that next call that I have, if it's a person with a high ego or not, right? It doesn't really matter. But if they say something that I fundamentally disagree with, or like are trying to take control of the call, I gotta grab that shit back. Because I know what I'm talking about and they don't, right? And here's the most painful part, right? I realized that okay, it's gonna hurt, guys. I'm gonna be very vulnerable, okay? If I feel deep inside myself, deep within, I feel like a fraud. I'll be honest, I feel like a fraud. Because the only lives that I have transformed that were all me were 2 people, 2 online clients. That is it. Like, that is it. They both lost around, one lost 30 plus pounds, the other one lost around 20, right? But those are the only people I helped get results for. And the biggest reason for that, I think, because I train a lot of people in person, and the reason why I don't think I've gotten the in-person clients results, I believe that is because I didn't care. I didn't want to be the #1 trainer. I didn't want to be a trainer in general. I didn't want to work with people to get them to lose weight. I wanted to become a businessman. I wanted to learn about marketing, sales, how to run systems, how to manage people, how to build a successful business. I could not care less about, what the best nutrition strategy is, what the best workout is. Even though I was a freaking trainer, right? I just saw that as a temporary vehicle to what I wanted to get to, right? That's something that I just had to do just for a little bit. But I was missing the whole fucking point. man, oh my gosh, I'm stupid, right? A business is a business and provides value only through, what it has to offer. And if I'm building a health and fitness business, then I should be damn good at what I do, which is getting people to lose weight, right? But I wasn't focused on that. I wasn't focused on my service. I wasn't focused on like genuinely actually helping people. I say it, but I don't show it through my actions by, constantly holding my in-person clients accountable, telling them the truth, not letting them step over my toes, like being assertive with them, being, hey, what happened with your meal plan? What's going on, man? Like, you didn't do that. Checking in on them every single day. I didn't take that ownership of them because I didn't care, right? And that's why deep inside I felt like a fraud, which is why I let all these people talk over me, because I don't feel confident in my own abilities. And that was a realization I made when I was eating Chipotle with my boys today. And that fucking hurt, bro. Like, it's like I spent the last 2 or 3 years doing what? Training people, but not actually training people. Training people, but not getting them results, right? Being a fraud. And that bled into like, sales calls, and it sucks. And it wasn't only until recently, and I'm grateful I made this like realization before this one, because, it's like, wow, I'm not that bad. But like, it was only recently, maybe like a few weeks ago, that I was like, I'm gonna go all in on becoming a trainer. Because the amount, like, do you know how valuable of a skill is to learn how to get to lose, people to lose weight, guaranteed, and the psychology behind that? Like, it's all in here, right? But that requires me being able to navigate and manipulate, but in a good way, helping them change their lives, manipulate people to get them to do what I want, right? It's really all psychology. And like, that's what I was lacking before. I didn't want to accept and embrace the trainer role. But if I'm building a business around health and fitness, that is who I need to become, right? And then, that's what's required. And that hurt. That realization hurt a lot, because no craft, right? So no trainer, no craft, right, equals no value. And no value equals no business. No business means no confidence, assertiveness. I was super agreeable during the call. Like, it was so awful. Anyway, and I would ask a question and I wouldn't stick to it. I asked other questions and he would like veer away. I didn't bring it back to the question. But the main point is, I know I went on a tangent. If you're still listening to this, bless your soul. Just know that I appreciate you. But I do hope that you learn something from this, right? The point of this is that pain is good. Pain is good, right? Because pain is the catalyst for growth. Because even though, today was hella painful, excruciatingly painful. I was tired, exhausted. I was listening to myself fumble the bag, and actually fumbling the bag, that hurt a lot too, right? And just cringing over like what the crap I said, and realizing that I'm a big pussy, that I'm a fraud basically, right? Or was a fraud, because I'm not a fraud anymore, because I actually want to become this person, right? That was all painful. But because of that pain, I'm very, very motivated to change, right? And it allows me to change. I'll know what I need to change. By changing, I fix that pain. And so when you go through pain, just know you're not alone. If you want to achieve massive success, that's just what is required. That's the cost, right? Like, if you want to pay for success, that payment, that cash, is just pain. And you're not alone. Everyone is making these transactions every single day, right? Some people some people pay it forth with big fat bills, a ton of bills, right? So they're giving a lot of pain, but in exchange, they're getting so much back. And so I'm doing my best to, give as much pain as I can. And that's why I really hope you don't feel alone while you're going through this pain, because you're not alone. Like, you got me, you got stupid Peter over here, right? But, a few other things, mini lessons, get your sleep in, because I could like feel my brain turning into mush once it hit like 2 p.m. and I was cooked. Like, the sales call could have gone really differently if I had a lot of sleep. So number one, get your sleep in. You'll become smarter, right? You'll literally become dumber if you don't get your sleep in, okay? Number 2 is to always take the hardest route, because the hardest route is the easiest route, right? It's also the shortest route. The easiest route is actually the hardest route, and it is the longest route. So choose wisely, right? Number 3 main lesson for today is that when you get your non-negotiables in, it is satisfying. Like, I'm going to be very honest with you. Like, I fell into like a mini, like, brain mush, like, vegetative state, and I was doom. Sorry, my phone ran out of storage, so I got to make this quick. But I was basically doom scrolling on Instagram and YouTube for like 2 hours straight, and I felt awful, right? And I finally somehow managed to get out of bed and take a shower, and by then it was like 12 a.m., right? But I still, no matter what, I still got my Instagram and LinkedIn post in. Like, so I'm very happy I did that, and I also messaged my clients, right? Kind of confirming my identity that I am, a fucking trainer, that I am going to get these people results, right? It's like, that is how I'm going to make money, not by learning business, but by being the business, right? But it's currently 1:07 a.m. I need to get to sleep. Also, another thing is that whenever you get sad, because I was pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie, pretty like mini depressed. I wouldn't say depressed. I was just sad and down, and also I was just out of it because I didn't get enough sleep. Right, so get your sleep in. It messes up your decision making ability. But because of those things, like, I was just scrolling. It was awful. Don't want to feel that way again. So, with that being said, if you're in pain, don't worry, you're not alone. It's going to be worth it, because that is the cost of success. And the more pain that you endure and that you give to the universe, the more you will receive back in terms of success. Okay, so I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. If you're watching this, thank you, right? And just know that I'm rooting for you. So, yeah, this is PLOG V 1.17, 1.17, and peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.